President Trump signaling he may use an executive order to force a citizenship question onto the 2020 census.
We have 4 or 5 ways we can do it. It's one of the ways, and we're thinking about doing it.
Having lost in the Supreme Court, and as the forms are being printed without the question, Trump seems undaunted.
So we can start the printing now and maybe do an addendum after we get a positive decision.
Arguing history is on his side.
If you look at the history of our country, it's almost always been asked. You need it for Congress, for districting.
But both claims are false. The question has not been asked since 1950, and districts are drawn based on the total number of people, not citizens in a particular area. Sources tell CNN that Trump is frustrated with Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross for caving and announcing publicly that the administration was abandoning the effort.
They developed material.
But asked if Ross's job is safe, Trump said,
"Yeah, he is. Wilbur's a good man."
And with the positive jobs report out today, Trump again using the strong economy to attack another official he appointed, the Federal Reserve chairman.
We don't have a Fed that knows what they're doing.
Meantime, as Democratic lawmakers and watchdog groups describe deplorable, dirty, and overcrowded conditions at border detention facilities, Trump says he doesn't see a problem.
And I've seen some of those places, and they are run beautifully. They're clean. They're good.
The president seemingly more concerned with his 2020 rival, former Vice President Joe Biden.
You look at what Joe Biden has done with China. Biden didn't know what the hell he was doing. Biden doesn't know about that.
And at a hearing at 2 o'clock today, Justice Department lawyers told a judge that they are looking at ways to include the citizenship question in the census, but they made no mention of a potential executive order. In fact, they said no decision had yet been made about how to proceed. Dana.
This plunge in profit for Samsung really being driven by a few things. A drop in demand for memory chips, poor smartphone sales, and yes, the U.S.-China trade war plays a part here, too. Samsung has made record profits for years thanks to memory chip sales, but now there's less demand for chips and the market is oversupplied. So companies like Samsung have had to drop prices to drive sales. Over in the smartphone business, Samsung's latest flagship phone hasn't won over customers. Analysts say poor demand for the Galaxy S10 will hit Samsung's sales revenue. And of course, there's the big elephant in the room, Huawei. Washington added Huawei to a trade blacklist back in May, banning U.S. companies from selling it tech and components. President Trump did change course last week. He eased restrictions on Huawei to get U.S.-China trade talks back on track. But details on what U.S. companies can sell to Huawei are still unclear. Now, analysts I talked to said Huawei actually likely helped the memory chip market last quarter because it was stockpiling supplies. But if the U.S. restrictions on Huawei continue, it will hit the chip market hard in the coming months. That will further drive down prices and hurt Samsung's bottom line even more. On the upside, though, Samsung could also cash in on Huawei's problems. Huawei said global smartphone sales dropped 40% after the U.S. restrictions were put in place, and experts say Samsung is in the best position to win over those ex-Huawei customers. Charisse Pham, CNN, Hong Kong.